your pain. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation. It's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth. Society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
What's happening? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where on this planet you are at right now. Welcome to episode 427 of the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. That's what's up. I hope everybody's well. I hope good things are happening in your life, and I appreciate you coming by to talk about music, the tie that binds us together. I'm sorry to say, if you want to talk politics or vax shit or who you fucking, this isn't the show for you, per se. Music, that's what it's about here. Cliff Monk, what's up? Good to see you, man. Speaking of, speaking of which, let me bring on Miss Lori Dawn.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? You know what I thought of during the intro when I saw Brooke? I saw Brooke at the Chiller Theater Convention this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you guys ran into a bunch of very interesting people this weekend at that Chiller Fest.
Yeah, where is that? Let me see.
I was very jealous. Rochelle sent me a photo.
Oh yeah, Rochelle met one of her. Rochelle met one of her heroes.
You got that on hands?
Yeah, I do. I just got it. Rochelle met. There you go. Anybody know? Ooh, hold on.
Come on.
Hold on. Wait. My bad. Remove. Hold on.
I'd know her anywhere.
There you go. Anybody know who that is? With my wife. Come on. Cherry bomb.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great photo too.
Yeah. That is Rochelle with Cherry Cure. Is it Sherry or is it Sherry?
Yeah.
Or Cherry?
Cherry, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Cherry.
Got it.
Yep. Of the Runaways. Rochelle.
Super nice lady.
Oh, she's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Rochelle was really excited, and wait, there's another one. There's another one that I took, and there's a reason behind me taking a picture with this guy, although I can't really talk about what it is. But anybody know who this is in this picture with me?
I love it.
Anybody out there? Let's see. This crowd's probably like,
wait.
Don't they do When the Children Cry too?
Yes, they do.
When the children cry.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody. People are like, huh?
That's an old one. Yep, there you go. Ray Hogan.
Yeah, it's me and Mike Tramp from White Lion. Yep.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
I can't disclose why. Ray, Ray? How about this, Ray? How about shut the fuck up? How does that sound?
That's cool too.
Yeah,
cool.
don't talk about the projects I'm not supposed to talk about. That's all I need. Blabbermouth. Blabbermouth. Drew Stone to direct documentary about two dogs fucking. Like, oh Jesus. Here we go. I saw them years ago at L'Amour's.
Yep, that's where you would have seen them about a million times.
about a million bazillion times.
And you were also in Philly this weekend, correct?
We were in Philly. ID played Philly.
Grape Fest.
Yeah, it was an effort. It was a real rainy, rough night,
Yeah.
and it was a hump to get down there. And the show was okay.
Okay.
It was like the weather was terrible, and there was a Philadelphia Flyer hockey game. And
Oh, those people.
speaking of
Flyers fans.
speaking of passionate sports fans, let me introduce today's co-host, Joel Gostin.
Ta-da!
Nice.
Sports fan.
Speaking of passionate sports fans, let's bring someone on who can't stand sports.
And who can't speak too well today. So
I know this is still the broken and battered co-host crew here.
we're falling apart.
Please welcome my co-host today, who still cannot speak, but
I'm here.
hey,
The show goes on.
Check this out. How cool is this?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
She called Rochelle her rock and roll sis, and I love that.
Yeah, right.
I love that.
Yeah, that was cool.
What a memory. Beautiful.
Yep. You sent me some stuff.
Yes.
Just before, as we kind of get cooking here, getting ready to bring our guest on.
Yep.
What is this about? What's going on with this?
Yeah, so we've got Loud Women Fest coming up. Loud Women is a group from UK committed to getting more women and diverse lineups on our stages. And they've got shows this year all around the globe in UK, Australia, Japan, Canada, Germany, and they are coming to New York City, Brooklyn, to be specific. And we are helping promote some of the bands that are going to be playing on May 16th in Brooklyn at the main drag. So we've got the Nanas and Bitter Tits and Macintosh. And today, Cindy DJ Half Rats is going to be playing some tunes on her Fresh Cuts show at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight on Sojourn Radio. So you can check out some of the tunes. And these bands are, I checked them out. They're really cool. You can also head on over to the Women at the Pit page.
A question about Bitter Tits.
What are they so bitter about?
What are they bitter about? Is it a two-piece? Is the dog in the band?
It's a two-piece grungy sounding punk band. Really good. I mean, you would think it would be like minimalist, but they've got a really cool sound. I really enjoyed it. A drummer and a guitarist. Yeah, definitely worth a listen. Also, am totally vibing on the Nanas. They're a more mature band of women. Some are calling them the real life Riot Women, if you know that BritBox series about the post-menopause women starting a punk band. So it's really cool. Yep. And then you got Fresh Cuts. So head on over there at 7 p.m. Check out some of the tunes tonight.
Right on.
Yeah.
RS70 asks, how was the historic New York Hardcore show last weekend? I went the second night, and I went the second night, and I was on stage for Straight Ahead, and they were great. They were great. They were very well rehearsed, and it was very cool to see Straight Ahead all these years later. I saw some outbursts. I didn't really see anybody else, but I got on stage and watched all of Straight Ahead. It was pretty great to see them. They were well rehearsed. They were pretty great. So
that's great. Yeah, I had a ticket to Saturday night that I had to surrender because I was still feeling really rough.
Right.
So
surrender.
Yeah.
Surrender. But don't give your love away. Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
And the Biohazard shows start tonight?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to the Biohazard show after this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to go. I sort of like. On one hand, I'd like to see Biohazard, Exodus, and Sepultura.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I just like to relax, make a nice dinner, and hang out with my wife. So we'll see.
Yep. I get you. Yeah, it's hard. Like the midweek shows are hard. Yeah, I thought about it too. I thought about driving out, but I was like,
especially after what I've been doing the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I've slept like 30 minutes in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let me go race out to Biohazard. Oh, I'm here.
But if you're in the area, you should race out to Biohazard, get your VIP tickets, meet the bands, punish them relentlessly.
When you did on the first record, the drum sound.
Yeah, they love those kinds of questions.
Exodus alone is. You know what? I'd go.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll go say hi to Gary.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Have a good show.
All right, Joel. Listen. Is this laryngitis thing you have, does this go away, or is this something you now have like for the rest of your life?
Well, I hope it's option one.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm a huge Tom Waits fan, I don't want to be that close to him. You know, I can croon for Steve Messina though.
Right.
When I see you tonight on a downtown train.
No, Ray said you sound like Don Corleone. Look what they done to my son.
That's right. I need all of your talents and all of your skills so his mother doesn't see.
Could you do a little Apocalypse Now for me?
The horror.
The horror.
Hey,
all
man,
right. Hey.
Show goes on. You know, it is what it is. Let's kick it.
And away we go. Today's guest is an American musician, artist, and author hailing from the Lone Star State of Texas. He's a provocative force in the industrial and dark wave underground, known for his commanding solo work and musical collaborations with Pigface, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, David J., and Clan of Zymox. His artwork and curated exhibits have shown in galleries and museums around the world, culminating in the art books Draw and Rides of Passage. As a published author, his new book, The Sound Philosophy, an Artist Survival Guide, is out now on Subtle Body Press. Please welcome, coming at us from Tarantula, Texas, Mr. Curse Mackey. Hey, man.
Top of the morn.
How's things in Tarantula, bro?
Oh, it's spidery. It's actually, I spent most of the morning preparing for a heavy deluge of cosmic force weather that's coming in.
Is that right?
For like the next 3 days. So today actually was pretty crazy. I made large sculptures in my backyard of all of these. I had to basically mow the yard. That's what I'm trying to glamorously paint a picture about. But we have a really big yard, and I had to pull a bunch of weeds and trees because in Tarantula, Texas, much of the foliage is aggressive and not human friendly. So I had to get out there and wage war. So getting ready to travel for 2 weeks.
What extreme weather would be coming your way? Like, tornadoes?
My friend Steve from the band The Black Queen, who lives a little further north than me, sent video of, I would say, like bowling ball size hail.
Wow.
No, actually, it's probably like marble size hail. But
right.
If you're real small, it looks big. So that was pretty crazy. So yeah, all forecasts lead to like 72 hours of chaos here. So that's kind of what we're getting ready to, as they say, hunker and bunker down for. But it's all right. I got my chores done, so now I can hang out with you guys and work on music and art for the rest of the duration of my time here.
What a concept! I'm here in New York City in a building, a pre-war building. It's like I'm in like the Fuhrer's bunker here. It's with 10 foot thick concrete walls. It could be a nuclear holocaust out there.
Yeah, well, it still doesn't end well for him.
Yeah, right. Right.
Speaking of the Fuhrer and the bunker,
Right.
I just read this pretty amazing book called The End by a really great writer, Ian Kershaw, who's pretty well known for his historic writing. And this book, it's like about 600 pages, but it was basically about the end of the regime, the last 2 years of Hitler, and how it all ended and how it actually got so bad at the end, just because of how I guess blind faith led people down a path of destruction. But very interesting. So if you want to see what happens in Bunker, you can read that book.
And I'm assuming, of course, Martin Bormann who was the director of the wardrobe designer? Oh no, the set designer, Albert Speer, like that the whole gang. Yeah.
Yep. All the sycophants are well represented. It's actually quite good. I'm a fan of historical World War II, Winston Churchill writings, all of that stuff. I am as well. Fascinating. I also find it really fascinating, and more people should read those books so they can have a greater understanding of where their society is today and how we came through the Cold War and how geopolitics and economies and egos of leadership clash and lead us into situations where you're on the brink of where a fascist can just roll in and like all of a sudden he's got control of an entire country.
100%. And seeing how sort of the events of World War II set up, the events of World War I led up to World War II, which of course set up the Korean War, which of course set up Vietnam. And you see how this lineage just goes through all this stuff. These are not isolated situations. They're all.
Yeah, I think World War II, America was definitely played a very positive role. Beyond that, we've gotten into a point where we didn't really have quite the industrial military complex back then that we do now, where you can where waging war is an enterprise that generates private wealth and is perpetuated. That didn't really exist then. Roosevelt was, I thought, a much more thoughtful president. Eisenhower was pretty good. And then, as you say, like things started unraveling and you started getting things like the FBI and the CIA, these new clandestine organizations. And it's kind of just where we're at now. So sort of like the culmination of all that. But anyway, I think it's important for people to read history because it's not like America isn't in its current situation just because something happened yesterday. This has been decades of buildup that have allowed multiple things to come together where the stage is set for them.
So that said, let's bounce the ball back and forth a little bit. How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Yeah, I would say I grew up in a music-friendly household. My dad is a drummer. And of course, I was raised in a Southern Baptist environment, so we had to go to church way too much. So there was a lot of music around that too. But there was always music on in my house. And my dad, like I said, he was a drummer. So there was a drum kit up, tons of vinyl being played, lots of music. So yeah, I think it was friendly. I think when I went into music, that wasn't viewed as welcoming. Basically, my music career started as an architect, interior design major. But my passion was buying vinyl. At a great record store in San Antonio, Texas, still there, called Hog Wild Records. Incredible place. And so I started sneaking off high school campus to go to Hog Wild at lunch. And I started getting into I got turned on to the Sex Pistols after I was from Black Sabbath to the Sex Pistols, kind of learned about okay, this punk rock thing. But then all of a sudden it's hey, there's these people dressing a little bit more dark, the post-punk thing came up.
Did this happen? Did you grow up? Did you grow up in Texas? Where did
San
you grow
Antonio,
up?
Texas.
San Antonio, the home of the Alamo, right?
Yes. And San Antonio at the time was, it's a great metropolis now, but that was a scary place.
I bet.
I grew up in I went to middle school there's probably 8% white kids, 60% Hispanic, and the rest, were black kids. And so it was pretty scary being like a little tiny white guy at that time, but, kind of gives you a tougher skin growing up, and you make friends of vast diversity. And San Antonio had an incredible like underground music, hardcore scene with the Butthole Surfers, as well as, I saw Black Flag sneaking out of school sneaking out of the house on a school night. Had a funny Henry Rollins interaction that night. So it was a great place to come up, I think, and that's where I learned the art of. Well, I just started working as a bar back in gay nightclubs. Basically, as they were the ones that would give you a chance, and they were the ones playing the underground music at the time. And that's where I learned to DJ and learned to promote concerts and learned to put my own band together eventually. And out of that, my career took off in Evil Mothers, and then leading into my participation with Pigface.
What was there you go. So what was, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But what was the first music that spoke to you that you felt like this is not my mom or my dad's, or what was the first music that you felt like this is my stuff?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I think my folks were generally fairly supportive. Like I know there's pictures of me when I was like 5 years old, standing in front of something on the TV that was musical, and I had made my own mic stand out of Lego type things, and so I guess it was kind of always there. But once I got out, we started going out to these clubs when we were like 14 and 15 years old. It's pretty wild that we were able to sneak into these bars at that age, but it was just a looser time of existence, and fake IDs were not such a bad thing to have. And you could get into shows and get exposed to music. So like my first club experiences really started getting into that, post-punk dark stuff like New Order, Joy Division, Bauhaus, Susie and the Banshees, Killing Joke, like all that stuff was being played in the night LGBTQ nightclubs of San Antonio, Texas. They were the only ones playing that kind of music, and that's where we went. And then you start getting into the fashion and giving yourself probably, once I shaved my head except for the center and had a purple dyed mohawk, then at that point my parents were a little concerned about where's this all going musically. But I think once they saw that I was getting press, okay, that's funny. That's me and Dwayne Gattel, rest in peace, and Kevin Key of Skinny Puppy.
Oh, wow.
That's the first concert I ever promoted. We used, I was not old enough to drink then, like just barely out of high school, but we were ambitious, and me and my friends pulled together our party money, and we're like, let's throw a party and get Skinny Puppy. And, it's like, we lost so much money.
In Texas.
Yeah, in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was I was just on Kevin Key's podcast like 2 weeks ago. This is like 30 years ago or something. It's crazy. Or longer. This is in the fucking 80s.
Wow.
Actually, that photo.
Yeah. Very cool.
First day we met, and still really good friends with those guys. So that's funny.
Joel, anything you care to croak?
I'll do my best. First of all, Curse, great seeing you. It's been too long.
You too, Joel.
We'll get into it later, but Curse and I are bandmates. But I wanted to ask you specifically about your DJing experience in the early days. How did getting entrenched in that particular part of the scene help broaden your horizons as you were coming up?
Yeah, that was my DJ career started out because I got a job as a bar back in a club and was willing basically to clean toilets while everybody else was having fun and cleaning up puke and running and getting ice. But anyway, the cool thing with that is that every day we were working, there's amazing DJ at the time who's no longer with us, DJ Jesse Perez. He was a beat mixing master. This dude's as good as Grandmaster Flash, and he dominated San Antonio and was very popular. The little dude, and he'd be coming in with trying to fucking carry, crates of records and shit like, and so I'd help him out every day and get set up. And then I'd always ask like, dude, how do you beat mix? Like, how are you getting these two records? He'd have two, it's called phasing, where you put the same record on both turntables, get them on the exact same spot, and then you slightly slow one down and you get this big gnarly phasing flange effect. Or you'd get them like 2 beats off, and then you can crossfade real fast and do this crazy delay echo thing, scratching, all the cool stuff, how to get, go from one song, flawless transition. So every day, every shift, I would get just another 15-minute lesson, and you'd be like, oh, hey, the boss is here, you better go. But eventually they asked me if I would, hey, you want to do the first hour of the night? This is at a club called Changes in San Antonio. And of course, he didn't want to be there because nobody's there the first hour. But for me, it was great. It was practice, and I got really good at it. And eventually, then I was offered my own night. Like, hey, we're going to do an industrial night on Tuesday. You want to be the DJ and come up with the theme? And so I accepted, and then that was where it started. And that's when it's like, all right, well, now I got to promote and make a flyer and figure out how to get bodies in the room. So it kind of started my DJ career, but also got me into being, what I'd call a party promoter. And learning how to do all of these things.
Could you set the tape? Could you set the table a little bit? So it's like, what was you mentioned a little bit, like, what was this embryonic San Antonio scene like in those early days?
Oh, it was interesting. There were cool clubs, like we had Raw Power, the Bone Club, Rumors, of course, the Bonham Exchange is the legendary big downtown disco. But what was interesting to me, and I was thinking about this before we started talking, I found that San Antonio was a melting pot, and the punks, the new wavers, people dressing up, wearing, kind of the goth vibe, and that all kind of like culminated. Everybody was going out to the same places because options were limited. So you had to basically seeing how these different factions, where you have like San Antonio had a horrible skinhead problem. So inevitably every show at some point, somebody dressed like me is about to get hit in the back of the head by some asshole Nazi hardcore dude. And then we would have sharks, and then they would jump on those guys, beat their ass. They would leave. The cops would come, and almost every night into that was problematic. I mean, we had guns pulled on us by skinheads in the area, and that would come and just target, like, hey, let's go fuck with the freaks, And so that was all going on. And then eventually, of course, that all phased out a bit, and that problem went away. And we started running our own events and own clubs and things like that. But yeah, it was very interesting to come up at that time because things weren't factioned out. It wasn't like goth night or industrial night and things like you see now, or a traveling tour of a goth thing. It was like, this is just real life on the streets of San Antonio with a bunch of like poor middle-class kids out here, and tons of bands, good bands, Butthole Surfers, like I said, Fearless Iranians from Hell. I mean, there was a really strong hardcore scene in San Antonio. Yeah. And then a lot of Austin bands would come down too, and we would go up there too.
What led to your move into performing music? Obviously, like, you started as a DJ. Like, what inspired you to make the transition, and what was the impetus for that?
Oh, just hanging out in the same clubs with the other like-minded people that you get to know. There was a club called Phases back in the day. That was like where I put on, like, first time Thrill Kill Cult ever played, San Antonio, Frontline Assembly, Skate Nigs, Evil Mothers. We did a bunch of cool shows there. So that was like the local hang. So you just get to know people, and then over time, like, hey, these couple other guys I knew were like, man, we're thinking about starting a band. Would you be interested in maybe singing and doing, I don't know, noise, because industrial was becoming a thing at the time too. So, but eventually we started what became Evil Mothers. We just bonded, started trying to jam together, and we all realized that we basically knew Bauhaus the best out of all. Like we all like a bunch of bands. Well,
That was sort of the least common denominator.
That's the common denominator.
Yeah.
Most common. And so we learned some Bauhaus songs, and then something came along, and we got offered a show, and we're like, all right, well, let's slap a name on it and go play a show, which was a Rock Against Fur benefit for PETA, actually, at the Bonham Exchange. I remember it well. And so that was then, all right, so now we have a band, and then you just do what bands do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Joel, we spoke about this. You want to lay a commentary on this recording?
Well, this was definitely one of my favorite albums of the era. This is, I believe, the first Evil Mothers album.
Yep.
Produced by the great Lee Popa, good friend of mine, good friend of many people. And from what I understand, Curse, this album was pretty much done on a shoestring budget. Would that be accurate?
I would agree. Couple of grand in a few days in the studio in Chicago, which was pretty fun.
And that obviously carries the Invisible logo. So there was a point in time where Evil Mothers crossed paths with the Mothership and Mr. Atkins and got rolling there. So talk about how you guys ended up going with Invisible for that first album.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was introduced to Martin Adkins, the, I guess I'll say, creative director, band leader of Pigface, through Al Jorgensen of Ministry. I was promoting the Ministry Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste tour, San Antonio show, which I became that record in case you didn't feel like showing up. But so that was the big Cage tour with Ogre from Skinny Puppy and Bill Rieflin and Martin Adkins on drums, like the quintessential Ministry tour, right? So we were all out having Mexican food, and Al's like, "Hey, Curse, do you know Martin?" So me and Martin started chatting and had a good time that night with everybody. And then shortly thereafter, Martin reached out to me after they got home and was like, "Hey, we're going to put this Pigface thing together. Would you be interested in promoting the show for us?" Of which we did. And but by then we had our own nightclub called Vortex. And so when Pigface came in, our band we had our rehearsal space in the club. So, and Martin, if you remember back in the beginning, he's like, anybody can be in the band, do whatever the fuck you want kind of thing. So of course I'm ambitious. So I was like, "Hey dude, are you serious? Anybody can be in the band?" It's like, yeah, sure. And probably not thinking anything was going to happen. I was like, "All right, come here." So I showed him our rehearsal space. And of course, we're like a tribal industrial punk thing. So we had all these big drums and metal drums, and we would set them on fire, oil barrels and shit. So he's like, "Well, come up during the encore and you guys just come bash shit out with us. And we'll just do this big tribal jam, and Ogre will just rant on top of it, and it'll be great." So, and that was like the second Pigface show ever. So that encore, Evil Mothers were all on stage with Pigface. And out of that, Martin called me for the next tour asking if we wanted to be support for Pigface, Evil Mothers. And through that relationship, then of course, we ended up signing with Invisible Records and did that record, Crossdresser. And then like 3 more albums that Martin produced with me. So 4 albums on Invisible with Evil Mothers until that fateful European trip after we signed with Alternative Tentacles in Europe. Funny, I got good dirt. Fuck. We were supposed to, we're touring with Einstürzende Neubauten. It's very exciting. We signed with Alternative Tentacles. We're going to Europe. We're like kicking ass at this point. And so we were supposed to get like $5,000 upon arrival in London from the label for tour support from Alternative Tentacles. So we buy all our own plane tickets and everything, and we're like, okay, cool, we're gonna get money when we
here it comes
there. Yes,
here it comes.
So we get on a plane. We played CMJ Music Fest. Of course, you remember that, right? Back in the day. Yeah. And then we're flying from there to London to open for Neubauten for their first show in London in 10 years. We're like, we were fucking so stoked on this. Anyway, so we land, and before this is the day of cell phones. It's like, I don't know who told me. It must have been Martin. He's like, somehow we connected, and I'm trying to find the guy from Alternative Tentacles, who eventually is like, hey, I regret to inform you that Jello Biafra has terminated my position as director of the Alternative Tentacles UK and is shutting down this part of the label. And unfortunately, that means your $5,000 advance is not coming to you. And so basically, for me, I was like, I'm going to be gone for like months. So I moved out of my place. So I was just going out to live on the road, basically. Thinking,
you put it all on like red to win.
Yes.
Like I'm putting it all on red to win.
Yeah.
Let it spin it.
All right. So then we have to do this tour basically with like starting on minus 5,000 and then try to crawl our way through. When we make it through all the shows, everything's great. Get to, trying to get to the airport on the way home. I recall even by now, several of us had strep throat. It was a disaster in those regards. And they're like, we'll need like 300 Deutschmarks, no euros yet, for all your luggage. And I was just like strep throat, $5.
Oof.
That's what we have collectively. And like, they talk it over and they're like, all right, we're going to put you guys on the plane and get you the hell out of this country. See you later. So yeah, then we landed home basically with no money, no place for me to live. I started couch surfing and we recorded one more record that
was that Spider Sex? Was that Spider Sex? That one more record?
That was the Spider Sex tour. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Auto Bondage Apocalypse, as it was called. And then we did one more record, The Incriminating Fruit, with Invisible, which did not generate much for us in terms of recoupment. The record just went out and then they wanted us to tour more. And I was like, Martin, and we are like tapped out, dude. Like, my bass player's going through a divorce now because he doesn't have anything. I don't have anything. It's just done. Basically, and that's where the fateful decision to kill the band happened. And in retrospect, and I write about this in my book, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but I really wish that we would have just gone on hiatus for a little bit and taken a break. But it was all very emotional and a lot going on. And so we're like, well, fuck. I guess that's the end of the run for a while. But, fun thing, I got to meet Nick Cave at that Neubauten show and had some great shows along the way and talking with Blix and Bargelb. So it was all like still great. That's our second record there.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it up there.
Yeah. So I really enjoy my time in Evil Mothers. It's like, and we did eventually put it together again and did some additional touring and things like that. But just,
You brought up something that, in retrospect, for a lot of bands, we really should have just taken a break. We should have just went on hiatus.
Right.
I hear this constantly from bands, but we were young, we were full of fire, and it's hard. It's hard when you're young to, it's very rare that a band kind of has that temperament and perspective to go, let's just put it to rest.
Correct. Because if you do develop that temperament, because sometimes you get so caught up in the moment, it's like, oh, we got to decide something right now. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, fuck it. We're breaking up because the situation is not great at this moment, even though there's been many great moments. But you get caught up in the emotion of the time and situation that you're in, and then you make a short-sighted decision that sometimes you don't even need to make a decision, right? You can just be like, I'm just going to lay back for a little while and let the dust settle and get some good sleep and work on some other shit for a little bit and then revisit this issue if something is pressing, right? So the band could have easily continued in many ways. It took me a while to figure that out. But
I think
in the future people should just take your time. Don't feel like you have to end it. Just take even 2 years off. So what? Fuck Spotify and their churning numbers.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned, we're going to talk about it with the book, but you address a lot of these type of things in the book, and it is really great. It's a great book and a great read. But sort of next and I know we're kind of jumping around, and Joel, you mentioned that you guys were bandmates, and Count Ralphus says, I saw Evil Mothers open for Pigface on Halloween in the 90s. Is that this, Joel?
No, that's a Limelight photo from 2001.
Oh, okay.
A couple years later.
Gotcha. Let's talk about, how did you get involved with Pigface? I mean, we kind of did, but
yeah, to finish up on, so once Evil Mothers was opening for Pigface for many, many, many dates, then it kind of got evolved, like, hey, why don't you come up and sing a couple of songs a night with us? Actually, Chris Conley, Paul Raven actually was the first catalyst from Killing Joke. He was the one that was like, just come up and sing with us at the encore. And I was like, we should ask Martin. He's like, fuck him. Let's get up there. We're doing Public Image. Conley sings, just follow him. Make shit up if you don't know what to say. I'm like, really? All right, cool. And so that's kind of where it started, but ultimately more officially, like on the tours, I would come up and sing a few songs like Murder Inc. or, 7 Words, Suck, Fuck It Up and all that shit. Just help create more chaos. And also Bob Dog would come up from Evil Mothers, who also ended up as a core member of Pigface on multiple tours. And we would pull the same stunt a lot of times, where during the encore, then we bring the Evil Mothers barrels up and we're all banging on them. And I don't know, I don't know if it was like the environment or physics or something, but back then, like, you could pour gasoline on a barrel in a club and shoot a flame 18 feet high and nothing would catch on fire and everything would be safe. It's not that way anymore. Yep. I don't know, some band ruined it for everybody else, but like, we were really good at it and that was a lot of fun. So from there, like, that probably led us through the 94 tour. And then there was a several year hiatus with Pigface where we didn't tour maybe until 98. And then Martin reached out to me and was like, hey, I think I'm going to put it together again. Would you want to come in and run samples and loops and vocals and do your thing? And that was kind of the invite to become an official member. Lowest of the Low tour, or one of those. Yeah. So that would have, yeah. So that was 2000. That was Siebold's first tour. I see him there. Chris Haskett from Rollins Band. Yep. Levi, Bozo Porno Circus.
Was it? Didn't I see Pigface at the line with Tammy from Faster Pussycat? Wasn't he involved in early on?
One tour. That was Team Pigface, like 94 or something like that.
I saw that at the Limelight. Yeah.
Yeah, we did play Limelight. Yeah, we had several good shows at the Limelight. Probably most memorable one was like the Ogre's birthday party in, I don't know what fucking year that was, but we had Thurwell from Fetus on stage with us, and Genesis Peorage, Psychic TV, Throbbing Gristle. I mean, I was one point just on stage looking around like, wow, fucking Atkins, Ogre, Genesis, Inesh, fucking like Fetus. Like, good God, this is like, I'm in a industrial kids candy land here. I'm playing the samples.
Right.
Yes. So that was, some really cool stuff there.
Joel, kind of your segue, your take, sort of being a bandmate with Curse and sort of in the Martin Atkins circus.
Yeah, well, it is a circus, a magical one, certainly. But I did want to ask you, Curse, because obviously Pigface, by its very nature, is an evolving thing. Hundreds of people have been in the band. I was thinking today, aside from Martin, it's been you and our dear friend Charles Levi as the longest tenured members. You've been very consistent for decades now. What keeps you coming back to the well?
Oh, the hospitality rider.
Hold on, real quick. First of all, who ate all my Cliff Bars when I put them on the rider last time?
Charles Levi did.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
That's why you will see there's even pictures out there where I can tell, like, especially on the Thrill Kill Cult bus, where I see pictures by the refrigerator and there's little signs. I'm like, Rona, telling my gal, I'm like, that says Charles Levi, stay, do not eat anybody else's food. Hey, Cliff, yes, that's right. Pigface song, the horse you rode in on, indeed. And also that one had a Pin Gillette on it. Yes, Tim, you're talking about the Abyss in Houston. Yeah, I was there. That was a good one. That was the show I was talking about where I came up and sang with Paul Raven and Conley at the end of the set, actually. So that's a historic one. Yeah. So did I miss a question, Joel?
Well, let me throw another one at you. How would you say doing the Pigface experience has most informed the work you do away from it, whether it be music, production, writing, what have you?
Yeah, I learned a lot through Pigface. I mean, Jolly Roger was the most badass tour manager, so I saw how he worked. Martin Adkins and I booked several Pigface tours together, so I learned a lot about that, working at the Invisible Records office, booking tours, seeing how Martin handles like merchandise and building sets and backdrops, like the most DIY kind of approach to doing these things, which is really great to learn. Of course, getting to work with all the great people that I just mentioned and many more. Like you said, there's been such a catalog of talent in Pigface over the years. So getting to spend time with anybody along those lines has been good. And then, also learning what I don't want to do in a project or what I might think is excessive. So yeah, I learned a lot, and probably the most profound thing that I learned, the art of improv. Like Pigface is not on a track, right? It's all eye contact and short-term memory. And you hope that everybody's kind of on the same page, but there's shit tons of chaos. You just kind of got to roll with it. So you learn to adapt on the fly. Like, oh shit, Conley just missed the first verse. Okay, keep going. Or Martin will be like, keep that loop going. Or hey, turn it up. Like it's like a really active live type of situation. A lot of communication versus just playing a track and playing along. So that's cool. And I think that the improvisational aspect is what made me qualified many years later to step out on stage with David J at a show, a Bauhaus, Peter Murphy, 40 Years of Bauhaus event where Peter didn't show up and was about to cancel on a second time on a sold out crowd on a makeup date. Woo. And David J was kind of like, oh man, this is fucked. We're going to have a riot. And he wanted, so this is fast forwarding, but it makes sense. Like, so Sign, my girlfriend, Rona, her band was opening for Peter Murphy. David's like, hey, he's not going to show up. Can you think Rona can come out and jam with me and the band? And I was like, I'm sure she would. And just so you know, going back to what I said earlier, when my band Evil Mothers first started and we had this common denominator of Bauhaus, I'm like, I just happened to know like half a dozen of these songs quite well. He's like,
I got you.
You sing. And so I run out there, like sign in. So she's all like, Peter Murphy, yeah, are you ready? And David's like going, oh God. I run out there. I'm like, hey, Rona, don't make a face. Don't tear down your gear. Don't stay there. Peter's not coming. And you and I are going to play with the band and do this Bauhaus show, whatever the fuck. Okay, let's go have a band meeting. So without my Pigface experience and my Evil Mothers experience, I would have never raised my hand to put myself in such a precarious position or to have the confidence in it. And I fully give Martin and Pigface that experience was probably the number one catalyst in me being willing to take a chance on live improv of deconstructing Bauhaus songs and dubbing them out and then singing one of my favorite vocalist words. So yeah, go Pigface.
Yeah. Just kind of moving along the timeline as I got to take a sponsor break in a couple minutes, but Grim Faeries, sort of, I know sort of chronologically it might be a little mixed up, but
That's right.
I feel like I want to touch on that. Could you give us some perspective on this act?
Yeah, Grim Faeries I was living in Tampa at the time, so I put that project together mainly to teach myself how to make music in Pro Tools. It was fully an experiment, and I wrote a bunch of music, and then my ex-Tina there, she was like, "Oh, you should do a band out of it." And then, of course, and I'm like, "Yeah, I should. I want to play these songs live." And then that became Grim Faeries. And we did that for a couple of years. And I did a bunch of video game soundtrack work under that moniker. And then it ran its course over a few years. But yeah, we opened for Pigface and Thrill Kill Cult and shit. That was going on while I was also in the middle of playing with Thrill Kill Cult.
So that's a feasible segue. Thrill Kill Cult. I know. Is it right? Did you tour manage for them initially, and then?
Yeah. Well, both. So my relationship with TKK began in San Antonio. Like I said, they were one of the first shows we did Skinny Puppy Ministry, then Thrill Kill Cult, as far as like being little promoters in San Antonio. And then I put on multiple TKK shows. So we all became good friends. And then one day, like Buzz McCoy called and he's like, "Hey, I'm wondering what you're doing this period of time. And wondering if you might be into helping us out basically by tour managing. But of course, also, we know you're a great performer and we want you to come up on stage too." So on that first tour, essentially what I would do is like, get the band on, go settle the show, take care of any final business. Then I'd go get my stage gear on and join for like the second half of the show. So I did like 6 years of touring with them. We had a really great time. And ultimately, I guess when I think back about why did I not continue on with Thrill Kill Cult, I think it was because, there was a tour where Pigface and TKK were together. And Thrill Kill was direct support for Pigface. And it was kind of like a discussion of like, does it make sense for the singer of the headliner to be the keyboardist in the opening or the support act? And kind of both bands were like, I don't know. So it was just
that makes sense.
I guess, I probably was, I don't know if I was tour managing Pigface at that time too. We probably had Jolly, but so it's just kind of like I can't be in two places at the same time. And so singing for Pigface is what it is. And then that was kind of the end of my live tenure with Thrill Kill Cult, although I did continue later on to write some songs with them and continue to be super tight. And ultimately, they took me out as direct support for them when I started the Curse Mackey solo project many years later. So very much gratitude to my life with the Thrill Kill Cult. I also learned so much. Frankie and Mars are two just amazing people. I just saw them a couple of weeks ago. I mean, same thing, just talking about like, God, we've been friends for my entire life. Since I was a teenager. It's crazy.
They just played New York recently, and I saw them.
They're doing great. It's
with Ministry. Did I see them with Ministry recently?
Yeah, that was good for them.
Yeah,
they're another great example of like, don't give up, don't quit, take a break. But if you take a break and you have a cool brand identity, you can keep that thing going, and they're going to be fortunate to probably have a 40-year farewell tour type of thing, much like Skinny Puppy did.
Yeah.
Because they didn't stop, even though there were years in the 2000s where things got really lean and the economy sucked and industrial music wasn't, genre du jour. It was you know, like they just were out there, they just kept going and figuring it out and surviving, and that now they're going to reap the benefits of that, because I'm sure their farewell tour will kick major ass. It's great.
Well, to sort of touch on like sort of book stuff, which we're gonna pretty soon, but I think we mentioned it's hard to have that perspective when you're a young person, young musician. But in a lot of these situations, the wave goes in and the wave goes out, and then the wave goes back in again. And bands, if you hang in there, the merry-go-round swings back around again, and bands sort of it comes back around for a lot of bands, is what I'm getting at.
Well, you were just mentioning Biohazard. That's another example. I actually promoted a Biohazard show.
Is that right?
Club. Yeah. Met all those guys years ago.
Yeah.
Too, same thing, but like they were probably on their second or third album.
Yeah.
And so but again, made a cool brand, did cool stuff, didn't quite, they kind of broke up and went away, but it never really left the public mind.
Yeah.
And so they decided to do it. And now it's probably doing okay.
Yeah, they're playing tonight with Sepultura and Exodus. So let's touch on some of your solo work.
Yeah.
Starting with Instant Exorcism. This was this Negative Gain?
Negative Gain Productions is the label. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good indie label. I've done all three of my this. I basically did a trilogy with them. That's the first one.
Right.
2019. Yeah. And then when that one came out, then like, yeah, I think the day that came out is when the Thrill Kill Cult tour started. So it was good times.
And this was the second one?
Yeah, Immoral Emporium. That's the one that had the song Smoking Tongues, the video you played at the beginning.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the third one was Imaginary Enemies.
Imaginary Enemies, that's right. And that's so but as you can see, they all have there's like a little IE theme. Yeah, here's the vinyl on the.
Hold on, let's see that. Hold on. There you go.
So, IE. So it's really it's a trilogy basically. It's kind of like it's a dystopian magic realism type of adventure, if you will, that goes from religion to dance clubs and dark, weird things that have happened. The last album is actually, usually I kind of write from kind of a phantasmagorical stream of conscious, cut up, almost William Burroughs-esque approach to like putting my lyrics together, but some really crazy shit happened to me, or not really to me, happened to people that I know and love that aren't with us anymore. And it really changed some of the context and direction of my writing for the third album, where I was sort of like, okay, all of this supernatural kind of literature vibe, poeticness has now just fallen to the street level reality of 2025 in Austin, Texas, where drugs kill people, people fuck each other over, and you're seeing it all in real life going like, what the fuck is happening here? As well as just the state of the world post-COVID, so it's like existential crisis meets just like, where am I at in the world, and where are we going? So yeah, IE, which all of each of the three albums has an IE title, and IE is kind of just like as is. It is what it is, and that is kind of what we're looking for in the here and now. And when you're in the here and now and you're focused on now, you're safe and everything is good. Whatever is going on out there later, tomorrow, that's still to come. But when you can narrow your focus to just IE as is, then here we are. And that's kind of what the arc, I guess, that I've traveled on this trilogy. And it was great, working with my good friend, co-producer Chase Dobson, and I'm very happy with the work we did on these records.
Cool. let me take a sponsor break. Let us take a sponsor break. It's a couple minutes, Curse.
Okay.
And we'll come back and let's go deep on the sound philosophy. Okay.
Perfect.
We'll
All
see
right.
you in a
I'm
couple.
going to go warm up my coffee, and then I'll see you on the flip.
There you go, man with challenged voice.
Yes. It's going well.
Yeah, nice guy. Your bandmates are welcome anytime. You know?
Right on.
All right, let's do a sponsor thing, and we'll be back in a second. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their...
Hey, we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Hey, a couple things coming up. This Saturday at Generation Records is the Incendiary Device New York City album release event and performance, moderated by Chris Ruffini of What Lies Ahead podcast. By the way, they just released that podcast that we did with him where we break down each song on the record and all that. If you are in New York City on Saturday, please come by. This is going to be a really great event. And the next day is our return to the Bowery Palace, formerly known as the Bowery Electric, with our free all-ages, free 16-plus Sunday matinee this Sunday with Enziguri and Rage, American Eagle, United Blood, NYHC, which is Sid the Kid's band, and Concrete Burial. And then we will be back here a week from today with Incendiary Device, doing it on the show, talking about the new record and breaking it down with lots of special guests and stuff like that. That's a week from Wednesday. A couple days after that is Greg Norton, co-hosted by Joel from Husker Du and Ultra Bomb. Then we got a Punk Island 2026 thing on May 17th. Waddy from The Exploited. Get ready to buckle yourself in for this one. Sunday, May 24th. Jesse Mallon on June 3rd. He has a book, Almost Grown. That's really great. Photographer Jeff Ladd on my birthday, June 28th. Lori Dawn will be on Wednesday, July 15th, when we have Joey Vera from Armored Saint and Fate's Warning. Joe will be back on with Bob Burt from Sonic Youth, Pussy Galore, Lydia Luntz, John Spencer, and Chrome Cranks. And then Black Dahlia of the Dwarves on Sunday, July 26th. So lots going on. Right, buddy? Are you ready? Can you hear me? All right.
No.
Yeah.
About that. Technical difficulties. So
Of
let me
course.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be harder to follow? Me with laryngitis or Waddy?
You know, before the Waddy show, I got to watch a couple other interviews with him so I can at least, so it's not, I'm not getting broadsided by his cadence, because he's kind of hard to understand. And I talk really fast, and it's like, I might have to just watch everything that's out there on Waddy before he comes on the show, just so I know what the fuck is going on. Right? That's a good one, though.
It'll be memorable.
For sure. Let's bring our guest back on, Mr. Curse Mackey. Hey, man.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Very much enjoyed this book, The Sound Philosophy, an Artist Survival Guide. Really fantastic.
Thank you.
And before, I just want to say that I really, going off my notes here, it's a motivational book. I really like the tone. It's the tone of the book I really enjoyed. It was a little different. It's rapid fire, and it really the tone really spoke to me. What was the impetus to put this together, and give us some background on this fantastic book?
Sure. Well, thank you for the compliment. I mean, the impetus for it is in the title, and that's survival. I started writing it really out of a need to figure out how I was going to, I guess, make the rest of my life work. Started out in, I guess, during COVID, right? So I had, like we've been talking about, my solo career leading up to 2019, out there on tour with Thrill Kill Cult, signed with a new booking agent. Things are fucking going great. I also have a company called Cool Molecule, by which I produce what I just call entertainment packages for companies like IBM. They will come to me and go, hey, we have this conference and we need a band and we need some art and we need a celeb. Like I did a series of events with Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen, my two favorite skateboarders, where I organized them coming and working with IBM on a big skate exhibit and keynote talks at some tech conferences and shit. So that's a nice little side hustle to my underground musician business, right? Mm-hmm. It helps fund my music career at times. So all that's going great. 2020 comes along, and then Clan of Zymox wants to bring me out on tour, another one of my favorite dark wave bands ever. And I'm like,
one of my wife's favorite bands.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So that's leading it. But then 2020, we were on tour with Zymox, and then all of a sudden it's like pandemic. I'm like, fuck, this is getting weird now. Yeah. And then within days, so we're on tour for a week to like, hey, this thing ends tomorrow. What? Fuck. Okay. So we all basically, tour gets canceled midway in March 2020. And then we're like, all right, well, it's fine. It's just going to be a brief delay. Along with that, there's a 45-date Pigface tour booked for that year.
Wow.
2020. So to me, I'm like, and I already have another IBM fucking thing lined up. That's going to be a home run. Like, I'm feeling really great about how my career has progressed after working on it for 20 years. So then the Pigface tour gets canceled. All right, well, put that off later. Like, shit, all right, no more work there. All right. So then the Zymox tours get postponed to like from March 2020 to November 2020. Well, that comes around. Obviously, we're all still, go see Clan of Zymox at the Metro tonight with my friends, Cold Cave too, says Depeche Commode. So that the November 2020 tour, Zymox, it's like, well, obviously it's not going to happen. Nothing's open. Let's just postpone it a full year. That'll be fine. November of 2021. I'm like, all right, fuck. All right. So then you're just getting through the year and it's like, well, fuck, man, we're not working at all. Austin's just shuttered. We live in downtown Austin, like at the time, like all the clubs are boarded up, literally. Yeah. I mean, it's fucking Zombieville out there by this point. Okay. Don't know what we're going to do. Then we start fast forward to like somewhere maybe September of 2021. Nope. It's not open enough for a European band to get here. Like some American bands are starting to dabble in touring, but still nothing was open and there was no way they could get over here. So a hard decision was made to postpone that tour again to November of 2022. Oof. So at this point, like I'm just fucking every day going, what am I going to do? Like I'm just living off of savings like everybody. I don't have a remote job working for a corporation. I just have no money. I make money at events, playing shows or producing something. Yeah. So like I was going mad, like fucking. So I just started like writing, journaling. I read a book called The Obstacle is the Way by a writer named Ryan Holiday, which I highly recommend any musician read. And that was almost a catalyst of how I started journaling and writing all the thought. I mean, there's some dark thoughts. Like that's how I probably got over my, like, you know, like some days you're like, I don't know, maybe I just need to kill myself. Like, fuck, where's this going? Like, and then you're like, okay, well, let's just write about that and not actually take action on that fucking impulse. Over time, all of a sudden that daily page or two was that thick. Looking at it going, okay, there's something here. And then I had the idea of like, okay, maybe this is a book. I'm sure was encouraged talking to people. And then, so I started putting it together. There's another book called The One Thing by Jay Papasan, who is become a good friend of mine. And then also Gary Keller, who is the owner of Keller Williams, the biggest real estate company in the world. These guys wrote a book called The One Thing, and that also revolutionized my thinking. So The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday and The One Thing by Papasan and Keller, those were catalysts in me starting to see a pathway. Like, I think I could write a book. And so I just kept writing and made myself sit down and write. And then I probably got to 50,000 words. Okay, so now we're going back as I'm writing. Things are still getting dark because then, all right, fuck yeah, I'm going to be on tour. It's maybe it's August of 2022. All the dates are going to announce soon for the new Zymox tour. We're going to be out, and then they fucking can't get their immigration visas approved in time now because the government is like moving so slow and backlogged, and they don't care about touring bands from Germany. So then we had to cancel this thing again because due to immigration, due to COVID. And so now I'm pushed back. And that's when it probably got the darkest, was now this tour has been pushed all the way back to June of 2023, something that should have been happening in March of 2020. And every time I'm like, resources are going down and down and down. But I think, okay, great. I'll be on tour in 3 months. If I can just get this far, I'll be okay. Like, what do I do? Make fucking art, sell something? I don't know. Everything, like getting pretty nervous. And then it cancels again. So that kind of shit really does a number on your head too, because you go from like, everything's great to like, oh man, I'm in the negative and I don't have any work. And the work I just had, which would bring me back up to normalcy to some degree, has just been postponed a third time. And
then also
thousands of dollars at a time that just keep moving away.
And when is it going to end? When is this going to end? That the uncertainty of it sprinkle that flavor in it, it's fucking terrifying.
Right. And there's no such thing as a makeup date, in my opinion, because when the time is gone, your opportunity to earn a living on that date is gone. Yeah, sure. Now I have dates 6 months in advance, but I would be working on those dates anyway, ideally. So that was just a 3-year head fuck. And the good thing I got out of it was the book.
Yeah.
And so some of the content of the book is my own survival tactics, as well as real world experience when I start talking about specific things or mindset or ways to look at perspective that, I have some road stories to back it up, because I'm not just talking out my ass. I actually have gone through this shit. Like I said, I've tour managed, as we've discussed, and witnessed a lot, seen a lot of people go through crazy things in their career. And for me, the sound philosophy is, so it's my own methodology to trying to survive, because my goal is I want to do this all my life. I'm not like some people, like they're like, I had a band when I was in my 20s and put out some records, and now I've worked my day gig wherever the fuck in an office, and I'm a miserable person. My goal is like, I will suffer through these challenges and uncertainty and very scary times when you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from and you don't have the rent money. It's fucking scary. It just sucks. It weighs on you. And so the only way to survive that is with a survivor mentality, to know if I just work on specific things, I will weather this storm and I will come out the other side better for it. I'll have a story to tell and experience to share with others. And that's kind of my point, is the book is about that, because I feel like in some ways it's like letters to a young me. Like, hey man,
yeah,
you're 22 now, but when you're a little older than that, here's some shit you're going to wish you, some philosophy, some perspective, some ways of thinking, so that you don't have a band on the verge of success that implodes under the weight of some finances. Like I say, you should have just taken a break, but instead you were caught up in the emotion of the moment. And so you decided to make a catastrophic decision amongst your immature selves to implode something you'd been working on for 8 years because you were temporarily a little strapped for cash or emotionally beat up from going on a tour to Europe where your record label fucking left you hanging. But, like, why do those fuckers deserve, why does Jello Biafra deserve to have the power over my career? In that case, I kind of let that influence our band falling apart. The reality is, like we've said, we should have just taken a break and continued, but I didn't know that at the time. So some of it is, my shared experience on how a younger artist might have a better chance at making it. That's what I talk about, just it's a survival guide for artists that want to live a lifetime of a happy, healthy, wealthy career.
Yeah.
Of creativity in all forms, whatever it is for you that works. Like, you don't ever want to give that up. So many people lose that thing over time. Like, life gets busy. Like I said, you were in a band, but then you got a job, then you got married, then you had kids, and all of a sudden you're like, I haven't picked up my instrument or written a song in 20 years, but I sure wish I did. Like, you don't have to stop, or if you did, there's on ramps every day for you to get back to that creative aspect in yourself. And when you nurture that part of you, then you become a better person. You're more happy, you're more fulfilled, which means you're going to be a better person to be around. So it's shit like that.
Yeah. I just want to say that's the QR code right there. I highly recommend it, the Sound Philosophy. There it is. Grab your phone, scan that QR code, and it's really a great read. Joel, any take on the Sound Philosophy? I know you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would add that while it's an artist to artist book, it really can be applied to anyone. That's right. Tremendous points that Curse makes that will be helpful to any profession, particularly somebody who feels a bit stuck in their current whatever it may be, their job, their day-to-day life, what have you. And I really applaud your writing style, Curse, because you're very much to the point. You've created a very easy book to read, very easy to digest. It isn't a bunch of esoteric topics. It's very feet on the ground. So I would just recommend anyone watching this, musician or otherwise, to check it out, because you will get something out of it.
Yeah, for
perhaps
sure.
many things.
And you know already, Curse, just reading it, as what I've gotten out of it overall is, man, I need to get back on the horse and get back writing. It's inspired me to I feel challenged in a certain regard. Like I feel like it was like a little bit of a, hey man, put up or shut up vibe. Like, and I can dig it. And it's like, all right, yeah, I get that. And you know what came up for me too is, and I mentioned this in, I think it was in the Boston hardcore film that I directed, is the whole ethos of that early Boston hardcore scene and many hardcore scenes. Get up, get out, and make it happen. Just that sort of early DIY ethos of just, hey, no excuses, man. Just get up, make it happen. And I felt that and kind of reading it. And like I said, I love the tone. And a couple of quotes from the book that I jotted down that I really loved. Don't fear the outcome, fear the absence of doing. I really love that, man. That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's a great one. Don't fear the outcome. The great fear is fear the absence of doing. If you don't do it, just do it. And that one really, I love that one. Don't wait for better days, make them.
Right. I mean, I've gone through all that. Like, I sat there some days just like doom scrolling because I was just doom minded. I'm like, man, I didn't get shit done today, and I didn't get anything done tomorrow or the next day. And finally, like, man, I must do something. And then when you start, getting started is always the hardest part. Like, everybody's like, I should, I really ought to get in the studio today, but you don't. And I talked to somebody, it's like, oh man, it's taking 3 years to write my album. Like, well, how much time do you spend in the studio daily? I don't know. Just whenever inspiration strikes. Fucking inspiration doesn't strike. It comes from inside of you when you actually force yourself to sit down, much like lifting weights or whatever, anything that's good for you. You sometimes have to put in some effort, and actually, you're not going to get to be on Facebook because you're going to spend your time actually advancing your project daily. And you increase one page at a time. Like, you sit down and write one page, you're like, oh, well, big deal. But if you do that 200 days out of 220, you might have a book too. And then you're like, it only took me 6 months to write enough for a book or to make an album because you got in the studio every day. But that doesn't happen a lot. And then people wonder why they're not fulfilled in their creativity. And it should just be fun. Just do it. And then put it out there, and then do it again and do it again. And that's what professionals do. They make themselves work on their project, even when they don't want to. Much like people do when they go to the job they hate. They make themselves go. Like, why wouldn't you make yourself do something that you fucking love?
I find with the majority of successful artists that the work ethic plays very heavy into it. It's like you said, it's not I wait for inspiration or sit around and wait. There's sort of a regiment to it of I'm making art today. It's what I do. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to. It's the work ethic. I think a work ethic can play pretty heavy into a lot of this kind of stuff, and not
procrastination. Yes.
It's a big one.
It's one of the villains in my book.
Yeah,
for sure, along with resistance and things. But like you can, like I've just sit down there. Like, for instance, been making these masks lately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just came to me because I started working on stuff and exploring, I could have been watching TV, but I just chose to spend my time more creatively, and it opened up these things. And then it gets fun working on them. Like at first, it's always scary to get started. You're like, I don't know how to draw. I suck. I'm a terrible illustrator, but I make all kinds of cool drawings. And in the book, there's also fun exercises to kind of kickstart you a little bit, like, whatever, close your eyes and draw yourself, or things like that.
You know what? Hey, Lori.
Yeah.
As an artist, I felt you through the.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with this, because, as an artist, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't feel like creating today. And it's like, you can't wait to be inspired. You just have to start. You just have to do it. You just have to be disciplined and get inspired as you create, and whatever comes out, comes out. Sometimes it's, whatever. Sometimes it's flat. Sometimes it's really good. You never know.
Yeah. And even when you think you're not making progress, and you still have to go through those steps to get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why consistency builds momentum, and momentum gets you to the finish line.
Yeah.
And gives you a chance to put something out and publish it. And that's the goal. Like, as an artist, you want as many publishings as possible. Like, you want to get as many songs out there, get your books out there. Whatever it is that you do, the more you put out into the world, the more you will receive. And who knows, like, what I could have just sat on those words, but hearing what you guys are saying about it and what other people have told me after reading the book, like, that makes me feel like that was time well spent. Not only because it was a survival mechanism for me, where I could get very dark thoughts out of my head onto a piece of paper, then I could go back and look at that stuff and go, oh my God, you were a mess back then, but look at you now, you're doing good. And then I might find, like, oh, but that's a cool line for a song. And then I take all that, and then my writings work their way into my music, and the art that I make ends up on an album cover, and it all supports itself.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pieces there.
Oh, thank you so much. So those are fun. I think that's on my wall here. So in the video that you showed at the beginning, you might've seen, like, there was my feet sliding around on some canvas. So when I first started the Curse Mackey solo project, before I had really written any songs, I was just doing like industrial ambient improv vibes and programming beats on the fly. And in some of those cases, I would lay that canvas down on the ground underneath my rig. And right at the beginning of my show, just Jackson Pollock, a whole bunch of squirts of paint everywhere and weird old papers, and mulch it all in there. And as I'm performing over 45 minutes, that entire painting was done with my feet.
Wow.
So on closer inspection, you'll see the footprint of my diesel boots in there and stuff, but that was all done with both those paintings in the background are examples of what I call the performance paintings, where I would put it underneath my rig there. And then, so yeah, all footwork.
They're incredible. I see a face in the middle of that one.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, we have some in the living room too, and I still look at them, like, I see all kinds of weird shit in there. Spirits. Yeah.
Is this the same creative process?
No, that's a little different. Okay, so those are a pattern of, so the crosses, I make these crucifixes. You may have seen them before, like custom crosses that I make.
I've got them.
So in that case, I took the canvas and I had to make like 24 crosses. So I put them all on the canvas first and spray paint them, so I get a base coat on the crucifixes. Yeah, those guys. So first I spray paint them all on canvas. And then also the other shape on that canvas is these masks, also all laid out, where I then was spray painting a base coat on those. And then I further embellished that painting. So yeah, that's kind of an advancement of my technique. When I started, I was just doing those weird performance paintings. I had never painted anything in my life before that.
Huh.
Wow.
That's wild. It's the old DIY ethos. Just do it.
It's fun.
Do it.
So now I'm working on, there's about 15 of those large scale paintings that I have now. And this year I'm going to do my first full exhibition of those works and have all those canvases stretched and framed and do a legit exhibit. So
I like these a lot. I was looking at, a whole bunch of these. What sort of pulled you in this direction?
The mask. Okay, so the mask form was probably inspired, I think, because Rona from Sign had made a mask for her to wear on stage. And then she was like, hey, if you want to fuck with any of these blanks, I have several of them. So I just started experimenting. And since then, I think I've probably made at least 40 or 50 of them. And I just got a commission from a collector in Vancouver who's buying like 20 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We like commissions, right, Lori?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Especially 20 of them.
Oh, yeah. See.
Are you wearing one in this shot here?
Yes, I am. I love that photo. That's Alice Teeple. That was actually taken out on Houston Street right in front of Bowery.
Yeah.
I didn't know they changed the name to Bowery Palace.
Well, it just happened. Yeah.
Bowery Electric last fall.
Yeah.
We ran out there and shot.
Oh, so this is right. This is right on Houston Street. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably. What's the? Is it Avenue A? Is that corner of
Third Avenue. Bowery Electric is on the Bowery, which is what Third Avenue turns into. So that's It's
so right there in the middle of the two-way street. So yeah, more masks.
Yeah, right.
Oh wow.
Cool.
And they all get a little fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's another one. The nails. I use a lot of these. My dad owns his own little construction company, so it gives me all those rusty nails. A lot of weird. Like I've been experimenting with like finding it. I like to go to Goodwill and find weird books on the brain and quantum physics, and I don't know. There's lots of weird writings and esoteric writings and 50-year-old paper that I dye and then
nice.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's been a great outlet for me too. I really have a great time. The thing that I love about that is it kind of takes me back when I started out first making flyers. You know, it's like X-Acto knife and glue stick and going to the local print shop to make copies of stuff and cutting it up. You know,
and you can also do it in the privacy of your own home, which is really great.
Wow, you can be pantsless like I am now.
Yeah, right. Welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live.
You fit in well here.
You fit in well here.
Yeah.
I think I would be amiss. Now, this is for those that are watching out there. Get ready for a curveball. I think I would be amiss to not mention this person here and your involvement with this guitar he's playing, dare I say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've held that guitar many times.
Tell us break this down for us.
Does anybody know who that is?
Anybody know who this is? Oh, I'm sure they do on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's a funny story. Pantera, Dimebag Darrell. All right. So a long time ago, like I said, back in San Antonio, when we were promoting concerts, starting out doing industrial stuff. But as we grew, we actually did a Pantera show. They wanted to do a secret show under the band name Cowboys from Hell. It was just billed as a Pantera cover act the night before Far Beyond Driven came out. And then the word got out like, oh shit, it's actually Pantera. And like all these fucking people came. It was the most insane fucking show I had ever seen at the time. And they're all like,
well, it was Pantera in Texas. So there you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, San Antonio is the city that made fucking Pantera. I claim it. Like they got big there first. Dallas didn't give a fuck about them as much because they were from there.
They're from there.
How it rolls. But San Antonio, man, the satanic Hispanics.
Yep.
They fucking ate them up, and it was so cool. I just remember that show. You could just hear like the impact of flesh in the pit hitting each other as loud as the band. And there was like, it was an old grocery store. I'm looking up, and it's just the whole place. Every pipe is just dripping with like blood and sweat. It was wild. But then at the end, they're all like, "Good job, little dude." Like, cool. Drink it or wear it. All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward many years later, I had been curating art exhibits, got really good at curating out of when I produced the Woodstock Tattoo and Body Arts Festival in the 2000s up in Woodstock. Did a H.R. Giger exhibit and a big snowboard exhibit painted by tattoo artists that went around the world, and we made a book out of it. But that led me, David Vincent of Morbid Angel, a good friend of mine, was like working for Dean Guitars. He's like, "Hey, you should go talk to those guys about one of your crazy art exhibit ideas." So I was like, okay, well, I'm currently using unique objects like snowboards and skateboards to use as the canvas. So how about some guitars? So I just made a proposal to Dean to curate this exhibit, do it as a charitable thing. And then as I was talking to the owner of the company, we're looking in the office like, well, what else could we do with it? And like that particular guitar, the Dean from Hell, and several others of Dime's guitars, because this is 2005 that I'm talking about. He was killed in 2004 on stage. So we're like just looking, I see the guitars. I'm like, maybe a tribute to Dime as well, and get some of his musician friends to paint guitars as well, and that'll bring some added value to the name recognition of along with all of these brilliant tattoo artists and pop artists that I had involved as well. So ultimately, that's what took off. 6-String Masterpieces became the project, was the name of the exhibit. And over time, I probably had 80 of those guitars painted.
Wow.
By everyone from fucking Ozzy painted one.
Wow.
Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains, Rob Zombie, Manson, Dave Grohl, like Guar. I mean, it's a pretty amazing list of people that Chino from the Deftones, Monkey from Korn. God, I don't know.
So they would supply basically this guitar with no finish on it?
That's right. I would get a blank.
And this is his actual guitar that he played, the Kiss guitar, right?
Yeah, that actually looks like what you're seeing there looks like one of the reproductions.
Yeah, one of the repros, right.
Yeah. So I would basically had a whole bunch of blank, white, unfinished Dean MLs that I would send out to the artist.
That's cool.
Bob Terrell, Paul Booth. Did one.
Sure.
Incredible Jack Rudy, like a lot of famous tattoo artists did them, as well as Mark Ryden, John Jesse. I don't know. Who else?
Oh yeah.
He's been on the show.
David Stupakis.
Wow.
God, I mean, really a great list of artists. Eric Foss, another great New York City artist that used to run Lit back in the day, the Fuse Gallery.
Yeah.
So it ended up just taking off, and then we got invited to take it out on Ozfest. So we basically took a mobile art gallery and put it in the pit.
Oh wow!
On the side stage area. Jägermeister took us out, and
on.
Me and a couple of friends basically loaded up. I made these big, giant, oversized guitar cases that I installed the exhibit in. We took like 50 of those guitars on tour, all on Ozfest, and then then that went right into Family Values Tour. We took it out on that. And then ultimately that led to an auction of those guitars where we raised about, like $300,000 for an organization called Little Kids Rock, which is now called Music Will. But out of that, we were able to establish a live band music program in public school district in Tampa, Florida, which is where Dean was based. And then we also did one in Dallas, which became like basically the Dime Bag. It wasn't called the Dime Bag since it was thing since it was supporting education and kids. But Darrell Abbott Memorial Chapter of Little Kids Rock was established in the Arlington, Texas school district, and that was a long time ago. And those programs continue to exist and have served hundreds of thousands of students. So that was like my coolest, I think, curation and what it gave back to the community. And the Ryden guitar was really cool. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I love his work.
Yeah, you can Google search Mark Ryden 6-string masterpiece guitar, and I'll bet you'll find it.
Yeah, he's a great artist. His brother's really good too.
Yeah, that one went for $32,000.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
At the time, and I suspect it's probably worth about 10 times that now.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And that basically, long story short, is that exhibit. After I did that, and it was all said and done, and the owner of Dean Guitars, Elliot, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, but great guy. And he's like, well, hey, let's do something else. What else you got? And I'm like, I don't know, let you hire me, I guess. And then they basically offered me a job as their director of marketing.
Wow.
Which was pretty bizarre because you can tell I'm not like a corporate office kind of guy. So I just like, if you like the projects that I do and you like what I do and you know what you're hiring and I can continue to do that, then yeah. So out of that, I established all of the, to this date, the Dean Guitars YouTube and Facebook profiles. Like I launched those channels and we used to go do live streaming at NAMM, and it was great because that opened my world got me out of like the goth industrial scene. And then I was now working with like what I'd say the next tier of artists, where we had artists such as Dave Mustaine, and of course, Vinnie Paul was a D-drum artist because D-drum was our sister drum company. Tons of great artists that we worked with. And that's how I built my friendship with all people, Dave Mustaine and Kerry King. Like I would have never met those guys if I didn't get into it and get to know them through working on projects, signature guitars and things like that together. So I did that for 5 years, and it was I learned so much about the music instrument MI industry, as they call it, MI, how that whole thing works from, when I see a bunch of little drawings that Dimebag had made of all these guitars he wanted to make. And it's like, okay, well, let's make this one. And then how does that whole process work? All the way to the point where 2 years later, it's available at Guitar Center.
Very cool.
Wow.
Learned a lot of
Hey, have you seen your Hardcore Legend trading card?
No.
There you go.
I love it. How do I get one of those?
Josh, if you're watching the show, you got to see the back. The back is really great.
It's got all your stats on it.
It's got all your stats on it. Here, let's see. Here we go with the back.
24-inch
That's
biceps.
right.
Hold on.
I mean, 4-inch.
All right. That should be it.
So yeah, that was a Evil Mother's Spasm. Yeah. Martin Adkins. Oh yes. And the Chicago Industrial League. Yeah. Psychic TV. Yeah. Dead Voices on Air. Pigface, Grim Faeries, Team Cyber Guys, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. Sign, Dog Tablet, Curse Mackey solo. Yeah. Guess Clan of Zymox. Clan of Zymox guest vocals actually should be more like remix production work. That would be the only edit. David J. guest vocals, working with my connection with David J. Well, other than us doing that crazy Bauhaus show where I ended up singing in place of Peter Murphy. Below that, Shiva Saves. That is the band so that night after we did that crazy improv, and it was David, Mark Jimenithwaite, and Mark Slutsky, who were the rest of the band. With Peter Murphy and then Rona from Sign. We were all together, and then David was just like, new band maybe. And then that actually happened. So Shiva Saves is the band formed out of that crazy Peter Murphy Bauhaus show. So and so now Shiva Saves is David J, Curse Mackey, and Rona Rougeheart, and then Nick Zinner from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs played guitar on 8 of the 11 songs.
Wow, you're born June 27th. I'm born June 28th.
All right, kick ass. Yeah, so that's Shiva Saves, and that record is now done, and we're looking for a label and plan to get that out sometime in I guess the next 12 months. So that was just another good thing of like, take a chance and put yourself out there. You might fail, but something really amazing might happen. And Shiva Saves is that for sure. I'm stoked on that.
Hey, let me take a quick sponsor break here,
Yeah.
and we'll come back and we'll take some questions from around
Perfect.
the world. Okay, we'll see you in a
Sounds good.
minute. Yeah, Lori, you could go.
I'm gonna go ice my face.
What happened? What did you go out in the sun yesterday? What happened?
No, I didn't. I bought a new face cream last night, and I slathered myself with it. And then at 4:30 in the morning, I woke up with my face on fire.
It burns.
So all I have to say is, "Fuck L'Oreal."
Right. It burns.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
All
on
right.
fire.
All right, at ease. I'll talk to you in a minute. Joe, I'll see you back here in a minute. Well, yeah, that's what's up. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Women of the Pit, She Devils Covered Minty Fresh, and our latest, Gamma Bass Guitars. Gamma Bass Guitars, founded by Joey Milstein, built from one simple belief: finding a great bass shouldn't be that hard or this expensive. After decades around music, tone, and gear, he stopped searching and started building, creating basses that actually deliver where it counts. No gimmicks, no over-engineering, just clean design, lightweight feel, fast necks, and tone that shows up whether you're on stage or in the studio. Most Gamma basses are built to order, so it's not just another instrument off the rack, it's yours. Check out these fantastic instruments at www.gammabassguitars.com. Mention the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live and get 25% off. The reason you don't see the bass in the background today is because I brought it to Incendiary Device, my war rehearsal last night, and Tristan DeGraves was so enamored with it that I let him take it home. Hopefully I will see it again at some point. Come on now, Minty Fresh Production. Minty Fresh Presents, our promotion company that put on hardcore metal shows in Locals Bar in Manalapan, New Jersey, founded by Chris Gullis of Bulldoze and Frankie DeAngelis of Silence Equals Death. The shows are all ages with plenty of free parking. The kitchen's open all night and the bar till 2 a.m. If you're a band looking to play and you don't totally suck, or if you do suck but you're a fuckload of people, reach out to them at mintyfreshpresents@gmail.com. Ticket pre-sales for events are available at mintyfreshnewjersey.com. Check them out on Instagram at mintyfreshnj and help spread the word to support DIY hardcore and metal in central New Jersey. Minty Fresh Presents. Questions for our guest, please post them now. Go deep, get weird. Let's hear your questions. Plenty to ask about here. Much to go on. Just want to mention, of course, which I did, just to please, if you're in New York City, come down on Saturday. It is the ID Record album performance event and Q&A at Generation Records from 4 to 7. And then this Sunday is we're back at the Bowery Palace with our free 16+ matinees with Enziguri, Enrage, American Eagle, United Blood, NYHC, featuring Sid the Kid and Concrete Barrel. And then 1 week from today, we will be back here with Incendiary Device. So like I said, please, let's go with your questions. Let's bring back our co-host with no voice, Joel Gosselin.
Hey.
But a great sense of humor. And
real quick, I'm sorry if this came through, but my phone rang a few minutes ago. Very appropriate based on our conversation.
Right.
You know the band Susie and the Banshees?
Yes, of course.
Can't say who it is, but it was a banshee calling me. So
Okay.
I have a good reason to be interrupted. So my apologies for the ring.
Hey, at least there's banshees calling you. I get like knuckleheads from the old neighborhood texting me, and you put me on the guest list and shit like that. That said, let's bring Curse back on, and let's see. Let's field some questions, Curse. Wait, let me put everybody in their spot that I feel comfortable with. Cliff Monk, Where's the Evil Mothers band members? What are the chances of a reunion?
Well, I say chances of a reunion are low due to logistics. We have done it. I find that it puts too much responsibility on me to pull it all together, to organize. And now that like my main must have ride or die when it comes to Evil Mothers is my co-writer and our bass player, Patrick Sane. Patrick lives in Albuquerque now. We were just hanging out. So we were talking about it. I mean, like maybe doing some recording or something. And then we did get a show offer recently. And then I just started looking at the logistics and I just told the promoter, I'm like, hey, you know everybody in the band. If you can go talk to them and get everybody to like figure out how to do it, then I'm cool. But I don't want to organize it. I don't want to be financially responsible. I have too much going on. And I feel like as important as that project is to me in my life, I'm not necessarily emotionally attached to the material and don't feel a sense or need to go back that way. So I would say unlikely, although I'm open to offers.
Good. Well, can I use that as my stock answer when people ask me about an Antidote reunion or something? I'm going to give them that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Heggs asks, did he take pictures of the guitars, the Dean guitars? Are you planning a picture book of any of that? Or
I felt like that project was culminated. I was hired by Guitar Player magazine to do a special issue on that exhibit. So I edited and basically wrote the whole, it's like, I don't know, it's a standard 80-page special issue of Guitar Player magazine. It's out there and it's the 6-string masterpieces issue. I don't know if you can find one now, but yeah, I have all that stuff, but I doubt maybe if I make a book about my life, I will do it. But otherwise I felt like the magazine project pretty much summed it up at the time.
Right on. Joel, maybe you this one here. This is I guess this is is this a Pigface sort of reunion later on? Is that Randy? I see in the back?
Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, Bob Dog from Evil Mothers, Martin Adkins, myself, Andrew Wise from Rollins Band and Ween, Inesh, Mary Biker, Gay Bikers on Acid, Orville Klein, Bradley from Chant, Greta Brinkman, Charles Levi, Leslie Ruby, and then the glue that keeps it all together, Joel Galston. Wasn't that at Le Poisson Rouge?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the last time you guys did New York?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a kick-ass lineup and tour. And then we also had, I don't guess he must not have been there that night, but Danny Carey from Tool also was playing drums on a lot of those dates. I guess he wasn't there that day.
Very cool.
Yeah, good times.
Still there.
So you cram all those people on stage. You got 3 bass players. So who knows what happens.
Curse, I'm sorry, just poking through some of the photos. Who's this?
Raymond Watts of Pig.
Okay.
We toured together in 2024. Raymond is also probably if you like KMFDM, most of the good songs he wrote.
Gotcha. Yeah, a beloved.
Yeah, band. Raymond's awesome.
Yeah. Good one, LaRoche. Music you listen to that we would be surprised about. Good one.
Oh yeah. My days are mostly. I don't listen to anything with vocals mostly. I listen to like John Cage and Morton Feldman, like the most minimal, stark, I guess, post-classical piano music, along with like Brian Eno type of stuff during the day. And then I get busy and then I don't really put music on again, other than my own shit that I'm working on. Gotcha. And then I do pay attention when my friends put out music. And then I have to also pay attention to sort of my scene, because I do DJ gigs as well. But for the most part, like I listen to classical and ambient music.
Right on.
And Slayer.
Hey, True.
What?
Can you pull up the picture with Jordy?
Ooh, let me see. I'll try. I've just got so many pictures. Well, here's one with you in it. This might not be what
geez.
you're. Here's. I know you might not request this one, but this is the one that's right in front of me right now.
Great.
Oh, yes. Now I don't know where that's at.
That was
Dahlia.
at Sonia in Massachusetts, Boston.
Okay. What, on the Thrill Kill Cult tour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had to have been maybe 2019,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And then that's Rona from Sign, my dearly beloved. And yeah, that's awesome. Need to get back there.
Good one.
Sure.
I will sort of peripherally hunt for that other photo.
In the meantime, Curse. So tell us, what's your Henry Rollins story?
Okay. So this is going back to high school when there was a place called The Junction in San Antonio, Texas, on a pretty shady side of town. And basically what it did is normally it was used as where they would do the live tapings of Southwest Championship Wrestling. So me and my dad would go see these things, but occasionally promoters would rent it out and do punk rock shows. So then Black Flag is booked to play there. So me and a group plan to sneak out. Well, some kids didn't have to sneak out. I did. Sorry, Mom. And so we go see Black Flag, and the show's just running so late. And I'm like looking, I'm like, oh my God, when are they going to go on? I had to go home. I just didn't know, like, the shows ran super late in that scene and all that. And so we're standing there, and then all of a sudden, like, it starts kind of like this weird little uproar happens. Maybe the band's getting ready to go on. But anyway, some dude, like, I'm just like a really little dude at this time, like some like kind of sweaty dude in short shorts and hair, like, comes by, and he sort of gives me like it's like something like that. And so I was kind of like immediately like that, like, and then I like just looking at me, and I'm like, it's fucking Rollins. I didn't know who this guy was at the time. I was just like, this big guy just kind of pushed me, and I'm sort of like, like back. And then he gives me this evil look. I'm like, okay, well, hey dude, sorry. Like you ran into me, kind of thing. Right. Anyway. So then it's like, oh, cool. The band's on. So like my friend's like, get up there. Let's get up there. And then we're like right up front. And then it's like, that's the guy that just pushed me and was like looking at me mean, is now the singer in the band. And then this other guy next to me, it's like some dude just keeps like, he's just, I don't know if people used to try to bait Henry, but this guy just kept like fucking with him. So then he just basically grabs this guy. And when he does, basically, of course, then Henry basically bumps me again. And I'm like, fuck. And then he just starts pounding on this dude. And so, like, I mean, Henry must have like punched him in the face like 4 or 5 times. Like, just fucking stop fucking with me. And anyway, like, I could just feel the wind from Henry's hand as he just like hear it like going, and this dude just kind of backed away and went off, stumbling drunk idiot fucking with him. And so that was it. Close call with Henry's fists.
Is that I've seen, I don't know if it's the same incident where he's on stage singing and this guy just keeps kind of pawing at him and kind of fucking with him. And then Henry just finally just pounds on him.
Quite possibly. I think I've seen some footage of it. And I feel like the Get in the Van book also makes reference to that night at some point in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty wild. That's it. Yeah. Otherwise, the closest I've gotten to hanging out with Rollins was basically hanging out with Chris Haskett and Andrew Wise.
Yeah.
Pigface members that were with Rollins.
Joel, is this the shot you were asking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that gentleman in the middle there.
Okay, well, that is the one of the finest guitar players that ever walked the planet, and a very suave dude indeed, Geordie Walker of Killing Joke. So Geordie, I first met him on a Pigface tour a long time ago, and we were so excited, me and Bob Dog, like, oh, fucking Jordy's here. Oh my God. And we got to meet him and hang out and like have some drinks. And then, so I'd see him just not too often. I had a random thing where I had my snowboard exhibit in Amsterdam and was in Amsterdam for a night or two. And then I checked out what was going on. It's like, tonight, Killing Joke at Milkveg. Like, fucking A, oh my God. So like I just went to the venue and then went around a corner and then all of a sudden Paul Raven's there and he's like, what the fuck? Oh my God. And so I hung out with them all night that time. And then this particular picture is taken probably at the last time they came to Austin and played at the Mohawk. And I guess that would be the last time I saw him. Yeah. Chills.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a band I will listen to still to this day. And talking about what I listen to, I kind of just don't really listen to like, the old wax track scene and stuff. Like I have all that shit on vinyl, but I rarely will break it out unless I'm DJing or something. I don't listen to it at home.
Yeah. People ask me what I listen to.
Questions.
People ask me what I listen to, and I go, "Well, who's on the show next?" That's what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
My ears get blasted daily. I just finished multiple remixes, one for the Black Queen.
Well, yeah. Good question. What does the future hold, Curse?
Yeah, the future. Well, next week I'll be in Chicago doing a little residency for 4 events. I have a show May 6th at Reggie's that I'm headlining with Sign and Black Season Witch. And then on the 7th in Detroit is Fixation Fest, which is a great little festival at Smalls. And then on the 8th, we go back to Chicago where I play with Matt Black and Houses of Heaven at Sleeping Village. May 9th, I'm doing a thing at the Museum of Post-Punk and Industrial Music related to the book, where I'm doing a book reading and signing and just telling stories, much like we're doing today. So that'll be pretty fun. And then also on Mother's Day, we're doing an Evil Mother's Day at the Museum of Post-Punk and Industrial Music, where I'm the guest tour guide. So I'll be telling stories related to the installations at the museum. Again, similar to what we're doing today. So nice little 5-day run of events. After that, like I have a lot more, I'm booking more book events. And then I have a soundtrack album coming out later this year for a show that I scored called The Unknowable Darkland, which if you like Twilight Zone, David Lynch, kind of surreal horror, it's really cool the way they did it. It's on Amazon or on Screenbox, called The Unknowable. So that soundtrack I'm going to put that out as an album. It was a lot of fun to work on.
I want to mention once again that the book is The Sound Philosophy, an Artist's Survival Guide, and there is the QR code. Joel and I highly recommend it. The tone is excellent. I really enjoyed the book, and there it is. Don't be shy. Please order it. You will not regret it. One last question. How about one last question that is kind of unanswerable, but we'll let you field it. However, which is your favorite music project you have done?
Well, they've all been amazing in their own way. But I would think the solo project is my favorite because it's the one that is all on me to make work. So I have the greatest responsibility. I get to do whatever I want as far as creatively, it's the most fulfilling in that way. And that's like my baby. So ultimately, I think that's the fave, just because it's the one that is the closest to my heart. I love the collaborations. I love, Evil Mothers, Thrill Kill Cult, Pigface. Those are big ass ensembles with lots of my friends. But the core of it is my own creative work.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Curse. Time went fast. That was
I
fantastic.
know it did. I had a good time. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You're welcome back anytime. Is there anybody you would like to thank? Is there anybody you would like to shout out?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you. I just want to make a quick mention. If anybody just wants to go to cursemackey.com, you can get on my newsletter and you can find the book there if you missed the QR code or just want to keep in touch. That's the best way. Definitely get on my mailing list. Yeah, I just want to thank all my bandmates like Martin Adkins, the whole Pigface crew, Thrill Kill, really everybody and all the fans and promoters that have believed in my work, because ultimately without this great network of people, the things that I do would just be me at home doing it on my own. Like, you can't do it on your own. You've got to have that network of friends and relationships that you build over time and nurture them and try not to burn the bridges as you go, so that many years later you can still reach out to people and hopefully make new greatness happen. So yeah. And my mom and my dad.
Thanks a lot, Curse. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, see you guys again. Thank you so much. Keep rocking, man. Congrats on 427 fucking episodes. That is no joke.
Thank you so much.
And all you had to do was get started.
That's it. Talk soon, man.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Bye-bye. Yeah, there you go.
Right on.
What a great guest.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. He's a good guy.
The book is fantastic, man. I love his tone in the book, man. It's like I don't want to mention any names, but I've read a couple books lately, and there's a lot of fluff in there, and there's just sort of like a lot of like dressing it up,
right?
And like you said, he really cuts it.
It's funny because I've had so many backstage conversations with Curse over the 25 years we've been doing this, at various times in Pigface. Reading the book is just how he is when he talks about lifestyles, like boom, 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 do this, do that. I mean, it's really anybody, music, hardcore, otherwise, whatever, anybody can get something of value out of this book.
100%. And like I even put in my notes, it's a motivational book. It's like it's you read it and you're like, oh fuck, man, I better get moving, man. Like shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was on his website during the show, and I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah.
But also, he has some great artwork on there too, and it's reasonably priced.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot
very
of
reasonably priced. Yeah.
I love having guests like Curse on the show because there's a lot there. There's just a lot there.
Yeah.
And it's one of the joys of hosting this show is someone I may have known peripherally, or I know their music peripherally, sure. I know, but once they're a guest on the show, I do a deep dive and spend a week immersing myself in their art, whatever that art is. And in many cases, it's music, books or films and what have you. So very, very fortunate. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Shout out to Joel's vocal cords.
Right.
You made it, Joel. You made it.
Yeah, do something. Joel,
Well, hopefully in a week and a half, when we do this again, I won't sound like this because I'm ready to jump off a bridge at this point.
Oh,
it's just enough.
It's brutal. Yeah, when you blow them out, that's it. It takes a while, and you have to stop talking. And the problem is, it's like I can't shut my stupid face up and long enough to let them heal.
Right.
Because you let people breathe in your face.
That's true too.
It's all that art market's fault.
Yeah,
just
right.
Kidding.
Super spreader. It was a super spreader.
Joel, drink honey and lemon.
I'm on it. I'll drink some Guinness too. That'll coat it.
With some honey and lemon.
Get Rob Zombie on. Rob Zombie. Yeah.
You don't know. Did you ask?
Last conversation I had with Rob Zombie was about the film I directed, and he was telling me how much he can't stand it. And I was like, what the fuck's this guy? You know what my lesson was about that? Don't fucking listen to other film directors about your fucking film.
Right.
Because any fucking film director, that's just how it is. You go ask a film director, hey, this is a lesson I learned, seriously. If you go show your film to another film director, that film director will basically critique it and tell you what he or she would have done. Lesson I learned there. He's like telling me I don't get the film, this and that. You should have done this. You know what? Stay true to your vision, people. Damn the torpedoes and stay true to your vision.
After those 2 Halloween movies he did, he has no place to say anything. I'm kidding. I love Rob. Just joking.
All right, maybe he won't be coming on the show.
Oh well. And while we're at it, fuck Haverhill, Mass. too. No,
that's right. And once again, fuck L'Oreal.
I'm just kidding, Laura. Yo, there you go. Any chance of getting Yorma or Jack? I wish, man. I've actually thought about. Listen, I've talked to Yorma Kalkinen. I'd love to have Jack Cassidy. I'd love to have Steve Parrish on, who is deeply. But you know what? Those kind of shows here, like, they do okay. This is New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. You know, people want Vinny Stigma and shit like that.
Hey, we've had some. Hey, listen, we've had some really, really good shows that had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Sure. A lot of them. A lot of great shows.
RS, man, I'd love to do. This is something I've never revisited on this show was my career doing all the street bike films. I'd like to do I should do a Street Bike Warriors episode. I really should, but with some of my old pals that, the Munsters wasn't the best. Oh, it was atrocious. God, it was atrocious. All right. I'm hungry. You're hungry. We're hungry. We're
all hungry.
I'm hungry. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care. See you later, Joel. Thanks a lot, everybody out there. We'll see you in a couple days. Until next time, do good things and good things will come to you.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casual